Alright guys, it's Navonod on No Limit Hold'em. I heard all the responses. Everybody liked the video, the checkout from the neck up, so to speak, and we're going to do it again, but pretty much unanimously everybody thought that this should be quicker. I did a 13-minute version. Maybe it's still a little slow, so let's get through this thing. Okay, so there are good, bad, and indifferent goals, and we don't want to waste our time with the bad ones, and we don't care about the indifferent ones. Let's stick to legit goals, and here's what we're going to do. You're going to read these goals before the session. You're going to know that you're going to hold yourself accountable for every single one of these. Pick a few that you really feel like you need to work on, but make sure that you're doing all of these things, and make sure that you go back and score yourself, grade yourself. Accountability, that's the thing. We're going to have a productive session today. We are going to stick to the game plan. We're going to stay focused. We're going to pay attention. We're not going to sleep through hands. Every single decision point, we're going to play one DP at a time. We're going to do everything we can to make money today. We're going to ask ourselves at the end of the session, did we do all these things? Did we do anything stupid? Did we know we were doing a dumb thing while we were doing it? That's unacceptable. If we did that, did we stop immediately and end our session, or at least get up and take a break? We all have different tilt markers, different things that put us on tilt, different feelings that we should be aware of that we know are leading us towards tilt. Did we have any of that? And if so, how do we deal with it? And did we learn something? Did we get a little bit better at poker? Was there something that we were working on? Or really more importantly, did we set a goal for there to be something we were working on? And when we got to the end of the session, did we notice that we completely forgot to work on it, or we just kind of got lost in the moment and did something completely contrary to what we were working on? That happens a lot. You know, don't beat yourself up for it, but don't ignore it. Let's really hold ourselves accountable. Now, here's what I would say. You want to learn from these mistakes and hold on to every mistake you made just long enough to learn from it, and not 1 second longer. Positivity, it's huge. Everybody knows it. We call it different things. We call it faith, the power of positive thinking, the power of suggestion, the placebo effect, the secret. There's mind over matter. It works, guys. It really, really does. So we're going to go through this checklist so that we know ahead of time that we're not just going to think about the 2 cards that we have. We're not going to play just the hand. We are going to play every spot that we're in. Every time we see the flop come out, we're going to frame our hand out. However you want to do it, you can just ask yourself, well, it depends on where you're at skill-wise. Do I want to really think like range versus range, equity distributions, who's got range advantage, who's more capped, who's less capped, who's more bound, all of that, eventually. But right now, this could be as simple as, do I want to play a small pot, a big pot, or a medium pot? If you're not doing at least that, you're just not thinking. You're not thinking hard enough. You're not playing hard enough. You know, like, this is fun. It can be fun, but a lot of times when you're playing poker, you're trading fun for money, back and forth, and it's okay. You don't have to earn your absolute maximum hourly rate every single game. You can have leisurely sessions, but we're not doing that today. Today, we're going to frame every hand out on every flop. We're going to have a goal for the pot. Before every single bet or raise, whatever aggressive action we may decide or think about, contemplate taking, we're going to ask ourselves a simple question: what does this aggressive action accomplish? What am I trying to accomplish? Is it reasonable to think that would succeed? And if not, why am I putting chips in the pot? Every pot that goes in, or every chip that goes into the pot must have a purpose. The closer we can get to that, the better we're going to be. Efficiency, efficiency, efficiency. That's the hallmark. I'm telling you guys, that is the hallmark of success. Every poker player who's really good has very efficient ranges. They have a very efficient overall strategy. It's all about wasting nothing. It's all about using the right hand for the right job, the right tools for the right job. It's about using the right bet size for the right job. It's about every single chip having a purpose. We don't want to use more chips than we need to get a bluff through. We want to look for spots where our opponent's likely to be inelastic and punish them for it. Before every single bet that we place, we need to ask ourselves, am I sizing this right? You know, can I get better hands to fold? Can I get called by worse hands? And how much does it take to get better hands to fold? How much can I get called by second best hands? And if we're deciding, especially on the river, this is where the pots are getting big and these decisions matter. If we're deciding between a call and a fold, every single time, you have to, don't count the pot odds, don't do that. Not yet. First, you have to ask yourself, is my opponent capable of bluffing? What is my opponent representing? Can I beat it? If you go through that mental checklist every single time, you'd be surprised how far that'll take you. Then add up the pot odds if you have to afterwards. But really, it doesn't much matter what the pot odds are. If you have a bluff catcher and your opponent never bluffs, then don't call. I know it sounds simple, guys, but you get out there and you start playing and it gets a little more difficult. You get taken in by the emotions. You get a chip on your shoulder. You get some form of tilt, but not today. Today we're not going to do that. Today we're going to table select. We're going to know the first table we get to is most likely not going to be the table we cash out at. Guys, if you're spending every session at the exact same table that you sat down at, I promise you are losing EV. I promise you, you're leaving money on the table. It is probably the most important decision that you can make is what table to sit at. Maybe right up there, it could be as important, maybe more important, a little less important than which seat at that table. But those are the two primary fundamental decisions that all other decisions flow from. So we're going to make sure that whatever seat we're in, that we have an edge in it. At whatever table we're in, we have an advantage in this game. Otherwise, we're going to move. We're going to request a table change. It's not that big a deal to do, and it will help. We're going to remember, it's all one big poker game. So we don't need to quit early to book a win, because then we're just going to bring this money that we won and we're going to put it back into play against potentially better opponents when we have a worse image, and we're going to put more money in, a higher volume in, when we're playing under worse conditions, and we're going to play less hours, less volume, less money is running through under most optimal conditions. If you have a stop win and you don't have a stop loss, I don't care how good you are, you're not going to be successful at this game in the long run. How can you beat that? How can every time you're up a buy and you cash out, but whenever you're down 6, you keep playing? How could you possibly overcome that? It won't work. It will not work. So today we're not going to do that. We're not going to decide to change our entire strategy today. If there's one or two concepts that you're working on, fine. But let's just say right now, I will not play poker today. I'm going to work at poker today. I'm not going to do whatever I want to do. I'm not going to have fun. I'm not here to feed my ego. I'm not here to tap the glass, so to speak. There's fish out there. They're sleeping. You let them sleep. We're not going to berate players for their terrible plays. What are you hoping to accomplish when you do that? When you berate a player for their terrible play, are you hoping to make them better? Are you hoping that they'll quit the game? Just knock it off. I know, there's a draw to it. It's got an allure. It's your ego. Your ego is here to hurt you. It's not a good thing. The ego is the enemy. It's not the friend. It's a bad thing. It's not a good thing. I promise you. Here we go. It's all one big session. I don't get paid to win pots. I get paid to make better decisions than my opponents. In order to do that, I'm going to need an edge. If I don't know what my edge is, I'm going to find a better spot. I don't remember my results from 1 year ago today, and I will soon forget my results from today. I will play the best version of the game that I believe in. My strategy will grow and evolve, but I won't change it while I play. This session will be what it will be, and I will be stoic in defeat and humble in victory. Or, if you want to kind of not be a puss, I am the perfect warrior, cold and ruthless, uninhibited by foolish emotion. You chose to play, and that was a mistake. A reminder to my opponents, you can leave at any time. No one is forcing you to give me your stacks. If you're going to stay, tell your family I said I was sorry for ruining Christmas, and have a good session. We're going to have a good session. We're going to watch this. We're going to go play the session. We're going to come back and we're going to watch this again and see how we did. Until next time, guys, Navonod over and out.